show. This was right after his inauguration. He came on TV and he said, look, if I can't turn the economy around in 3 years, I'll be looking at a one-term proposition. We're here to collect. Let's do it. You see, I actually think it helps to have had a job if you want to create jobs. And I've had jobs. I've worked in the private sector. I know how the private sector works. I know how jobs come. I know how they go. I want to get jobs for Americans. And by the way, I'm concerned about our poor in this country. We have to make sure that the safety net for our poor is always strong and able to help those that can't help themselves. I'm not terribly worried about the very wealthiest in our society. They're doing just fine. I'm concerned about the vast middle class of our nation. The 90% of Americans, 95% of Americans who are having tough times. This president has presided over an economy where the median income has dropped 10% in the last 4 years. Where we now have 25 million people out of work or stopped looking for work. And if you've been out of work for a long period of time, you know that these numbers are not just statistics. These numbers are real people and real suffering. And he's going to say the economy is getting better. Thank heavens it's getting better. And it's getting better not because of him, it's in spite of him and what he's done. And we want to help those people that are really suffering and struggling and make sure our kids know the future is brighter than the past. I've asked, how are you going to balance the budget, Mitt? What are you going to do? All these people run for president, say they're going to cut spending, and then never do. Well, I do have a record. I was governor for four years in Massachusetts, a slightly Democrat state, as you probably know. My legislature was 85% Democrat. But you know what? We balance the budget every year. We put in place a $2 billion rainy day fund by the time I left office. And the approach I took there is the approach I'll take in Washington. I will take all of the programs that exist in Washington, and I will ask this question, this test for each one. Is this program so critical, it's worth borrowing money from China to pay for it? And on that basis, we're going to get rid of a lot of programs, even somewhere like the cut back Washington. And I will work to get good jobs back. And a lot of people want to talk about how we create jobs. By the way, it is not to walk away from free enterprise. It is not to say that there's something wrong with the free market system. No, it's instead to hold fast to that system and to make it work for the American people. How do you do that? You make America the best place in the world for innovators, entrepreneurs, and job creators. By having tax rates that are competitive, by having regulators and regulations that are up to date and that encourage the economy as opposed to dampen it. You make sure that we open up new markets for American goods, and you crack down on cheaters like China when they don't follow the rules of fair trade and free trade. And you take care, you make sure that we take advantage of our natural resources and energy. We're an energy-rich nation. We're acting like an energy-poor nation. I will open up gas and oil and coal and nuclear and renewables. Now, these are critical issues. Securing us from threats around the world, building the economy, getting people back to work, reining in the size of the federal government. But I hope we recognize that in addition to those critical areas, there's something else going on in this election. This is an election not just about those issues, it is also about the soul of America. And I speak about this with great seriousness. We have in our history a course that was set up by the founders, which defines how America works. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they said that the Creator had endowed us with certain unalienable rights. The Creator, by the way, endowed us. Not government, but the Creator. And among those rights were life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, when I was younger, I understood life and liberty, but the pursuit of happiness didn't connect with me as it does now. With the concept of the pursuit of happiness was the vision that in America, people could pursue their course in life as they might choose. that the circumstance of birth would not limit us from what we might accomplish, that we would be able to live our lives where we wanted to, that we could choose the profession of our hopes, that the government wouldn't tell us how to, for instance, have what health care we could have. And so we have a nation where freedom and the ability to choose our course in life has brought people from all over the world here. For hundreds of years, this is the place in the world where freedom seekers and dreamers and pioneers and innovators have wanted to come. And if we want to make America a powerhouse, again, morally, economically, militarily, we have to rekindle that spirit of freedom, life, and that spirit of enterprise. We're an opportunity society, a merit society, where people succeed based upon getting as much education as they might be able to and working hard, taking risk, maybe a little luck, great dreams. Those things combine to have people have extraordinary success. And their success does not make the rest of us poorer. It makes us better off. And so that's what America has been. That's what allowed us to become the most powerful nation in the history of the earth. What this president's doing is taking a very different course. It's a course of an entitlement society, not a merit society, not an opportunity society, an entitlement society where everybody's entitled to all sorts of things they want. And they get them by government taking from some people and giving it to others. And in that kind of society, the only people who do real well are the people who do the taking and the giving, the government. And we've seen that play out around the world. It's never worked anywhere. I do not want America to become a European-style welfare state. I do not want to take that course. The political strategy of those who would take us down that course is one which replaces ambition with envy. It's one which poisons the American spirit with class warfare. And that's what's going on right now. America will remain a great nation so long as we are one nation under God. The difference between these two paths could not be more stark. The president, under his plan, is willing to borrow massively more money, trillions of dollars of additional debt. I will cut federal spending. I will cap federal spending, and I'll get us a balanced budget. He will take us down a course where the government tells us what kind of health care we can have. I will repeal Obamacare. He will hand over free enterprise to the wishes and the whims of labor stooges of the National Labor Relations Board. I will protect free enterprise in this country, fair for labor and for management. He looks at our international challenges and says, you know what, we can afford to pull back our military. We can afford to cut back on military by about $1 trillion. Did you know, by the way, the number of ships in our Navy today is smaller than at any time since 1917? Did you know that our Air Force is older and smaller than any time since its founding in 1947? The president's willing to preside over a shrinking military. I will make sure America's military is superior to any else in the world. They can be confident no one will ever consider a threat. Perhaps as no time we can recall in our electoral memories has this been such a defined race as between those who believe in freedom and free enterprise and the pursuit of happiness and opportunity and merit, and those who believe in a European-style social welfare state. And that's the choice that America's going to have to make. I love this country. I have, from the very beginning of my life, had the privilege of having a mom and a dad who loved America and wanted us to fall in love with America. We thrill at the national hymns, not only our national anthem, but other national hymns. I love the song, America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. I used to joke in Iowa that the amber waves of grain included corn, but a special feeling in my heart for that verse that says, "Oh, beautiful for heroes, proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life, are men and women in uniform." But those who have served or are serving, please raise your hand. Thank you. Up their hand. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you, sir. There's another verse that has real meaning. It says, "Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years." The idea was that the founders, the patriots that crafted this country, put together documents and a vision that was not just temporary for their time, but it saw beyond the years, into our times and beyond. The president thinks of fundamentally transforming America. I don't want to transform America into something we won't recognize. I want to restore America to the principles that made us the hope. We're in a great and growing movement. Some call ourselves conservatives, others say we're Tea Partiers, others just say we're Americans that are concerned about the future. But you're seeing across this country a growing crescendo of people who are so committed to this country and so convinced that the patriots, that the founders, that the pioneers were right. We're coming together to take America back. And if I'm your president, I will do everything in my power. Everything in my power to keep America strong in our homes, in our families, in our economy, in our military.